All right, we're covering 6-3 part 1. This is dividing polynomials. Today we're going to look at using long division to divide polynomials. And first we'll cover a little bit about dividing numbers using long division because we might have forgotten. So this problem that we started with was 277 divided by 12. So here's our divisor, here's our dividend, and we need to find our quotient. And we do that by looking at 12. It doesn't go into 2, so we're going to move over one digit. It does go into 27. How many times? Twice. Multiply 12 by 2, get 24. Subtract that from 27 and we have 3. 12 doesn't go into 3, so we're going to bring the 7 down. 12 goes into 37 3 times. 12 times 3 is 36, and we end up with a remainder of 1. So the answer to this is going to be 23 remainder 1. It's a similar sort of process for polynomials. One thing, they do have an error in this, so I'm going to correct that. But here's your divisor. So the problem here would have been 2x squared plus 7x plus 7 divided by x plus 2. So you create, basically write it just as if it were two numbers that you're using long division. And then how do we come up with this? Well, we look at the first term only. So we are going to, actually this is correct, sorry. We're going to say how many times does x go into 2x squared? What do we have to multiply x by to get 2x squared? Well, we have to multiply x by 2x to get 2x squared. So when we multiply x by 2x to get 2x squared, we also have to multiply the 2 by 2x, and that's where we get this 4x. So now we've multiplied this by this term, and now we're going to subtract. This cancels out, obviously. 7x minus 4x gives us 3x. And then since we have two terms here, we need to pull down another term. And now we do the same process. What do we need to do to x to turn it into 3x? Well, we're going to multiply it by a positive 3. So we multiply 3 times x to get 3x, and then 2 times 3 to get 6. Subtract, this cancels out. 7 minus 6 is 1, and we have remainder 1. And so our answer is going to be x plus 2, and 2x plus 3, and we're going to have a remainder of 1. So the way we write the remainders is a little bit different, and you'll see that on the next slide where I actually do a real example. All right, divide using long division. So again, we're going to write it in division form like this, and then we're going to start dividing. So I actually wish I had room to write this out without showing you, but so we're going to look at what do we need to multiply y by to get 2y squared, or 2y cubed. We need to multiply y by 2y squared to get 2y cubed. So we're going to multiply y by 2y squared, and that gives us 2y cubed. And then also our negative 3. So negative 3 times 2y squared is negative 6y squared. And now we're going to do our subtraction. 2y squared minus 2y cubed minus 2y cubed is 0. Negative y squared minus a negative 6, so that turns into a positive 6. So negative y squared and a positive gives us 5y squared. One thing I forgot to mention that's important, and we did it on the worksheet last week. Remember, we have to include terms that are missing, and you put the coefficient 0. So here we rewrote this because this is missing this term here. So we're going to add our 0y, and now we have 5y squared remaining. Bring our 0y down. And why is that? Why do we have to do that? No pun intended with the y. Because if we don't, then we're not going to be able to subtract properly. So what do we have to multiply y by now to get to be 5y squared? Well, we have to multiply it by 5y. So we multiply 5y times y to get 5y squared. Negative 3 times 5y is going to be negative 15y. And now we're going to subtract. 5y squared minus 5y squared, they cancel out. 0 minus 15y is 15y. And now we're going to bring down our last term. And what do we have to multiply y by to get 15y? A positive 15. 15 times y is 15y. Negative 3 times 15 is negative 45. Subtract. And remember, you're subtracting at each step. This cancels out. 25 minus a negative 45 is a positive 70. So this is the part of the answer. What do we do with the 70 that's remaining? Well, you write it like this. So here is what we had up here. The 70 goes underneath our divisor. So you're going to write it as 70 divided by 70, or divided by y minus 3. I'm going to go through one more example. Okay, divide using long division. So we're going to write it and fill in any missing terms. We don't have any missing terms this time. So what do we have to multiply 3x by to get 15x squared? Well, it's going to be 5x. This is going to give us 15x squared, and then I multiply the 1 times 5x to get plus 5x. Subtract, that cancels out, and we're going to get 3x minus 12. And then what do I multiply 3x by to get 3x? Just 1. So 3x times 3x is 3x times 1 is 3x. 1 times 1 is just 1. Multiply or subtract, and you're going to get negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. These cancel out. And our final answer then is going to be 5x plus 1. This is a negative, so it's a minus. So just be careful with your plus and minus signs. 13 over our divisor, which is 3x plus 1. All right, so there is one for you to try either now or in class. And that is it for this lesson. Here is your homework, and I will see you next time. Bring any questions.